Hi there. This is my video about my experiences with Halloween ComicFest 2015. First of all, I want to thank Omar and Mia from the Two Broke Geeks YouTube channel. I've known about Free Comic Book Day for several years, but their videos inspired me to go check out the Free Comic Book Day website, and from there I discovered Halloween ComicFest, which is basically the same thing but on Halloween. Retailers put out free special issues of comics to entice people to try out comic book retailers or comics that they might not have tried before. I set out on Halloween morning. It was a cloudy, rainy, chilly day, which might have affected the turnout. The first place I went to was Captain Jack's Comics in Bloomington. I hadn't ever been there before, and I don't think I even knew it existed before I found a listing for it on the Halloween Comic Fest website. They don't have a website right now, though it looks like they're setting one up, but they do have a Facebook page and an eBay store, so you can look them up online there. It's a smallish store in a strip mall with a sign on the building that says simply Comics, and it isn't until you get to the front door that you see it's Captain Jack's Comics. I got there just a little after 10 a.m., so just about when the store opened. I was the first customer in the door and the only customer for the 20 or so minutes that I was there. It has a decent selection of new comics and a good selection of back issues in long boxes. So let's look at the free comics that I got there. Because it was the first store that I went to, I picked up one of each of the free comics that they had. And I also purchased some comics, so I guess it was successful for them in that they got a customer that they otherwise wouldn't have, and they sold some comics. The next store I went to was Hot Comics and Collectibles in Richfield. I'd been by Hot Comics and Collectibles many times, and I've always meant to go there and check it out, but this was the first time I've gone in. I've got two URLs here because every time I go to their website, I just get a blank page. So I dug around through their HTML for their site and came up with this second URL. I got there sometime around 10:45 a.m. to 11 a.m., so they'd been open for a while, but it looked like they still had copies of all the free comics they were stocking. When I got there were about 6 customers there, and I don't think anyone else came in while I was there. It's a decent-sized store with a good selection of current comics and back issues, and of course plenty of collectibles. It has a very comfortable feel to it, with a comfortable couch and chair in the store in case you want to hang out for a while. Obviously, I'd already picked up a bunch of the Halloween Comic Fest comics at Captain Jack's, but Hot Comics and had a few that Captain Jack's didn't, so let's look at those. I also purchased a few comics at Hot Comics. The next place I went to was Dreamhaven, which is probably my favorite book and comic book store in the Twin Cities. It has science fiction and fantasy books, comic books, and all manner of other geeky stuff for sale. I like to think of it as a vault of wonders. You can go in there and browse for hours just looking at the cool stuff you could buy. I got there a little before noon and waited to go in until noon, which is when they open. So I was the first customer there. There were maybe 2 other customers who showed up during the half hour that I was there. I'd gotten most of the Halloween Comic Fest comics already, and there weren't any of those that I didn't have at Dreamhaven. But they were giving away a comic just because they wanted to get it out into as many people's hands as they could. Really, what I was there for, though, were their 5 for $1 comics. They have several long boxes of back issue comics that aren't old or rare enough to be collectible that they sell for 25 cents a piece or 5 for $1. So let's see what I got there. You can see that I got a bunch of Buffyverse comics, Angel, Spike. I also got a few Night of the Dinner Table and a few Dork Tower comics. Well, that was my Halloween Comic Fest 2015 experience. Thank you for watching, and please like, comment on, and share this video, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Once again, thank you very much for watching.